the lions from yesterday are still going to be around. I do have a little bit of news to fill you in on. Last night we were told by the guides that Karula actually dropped an Impala just somewhere out on the open plain here, just close to where we live actually, and we were all down at final control, but that's one of the reasons why we missed it, unfortunately. And Karula was then, she left it apparently, but the hyenas came in and stole the kill, and while the hyenas were trying to eat it, the Majingilanes, who were actually sitting over the way down by the dam, made the way up here. Maybe it's the sand of the hunt itself. I think that apparently there was a bit of commotion from the monkeys, something along those lines, but something drew them up here and they chased off the hyenas. Could have even been the hyenas cackling away, but whatever it was, they chased the hyenas off of the kill and sat there and ate it. So we had a wonderful surprise when we went back to the house last night. But they were out just by the house sleeping, and when we did actually go and have a look after dinner, unfortunately, they had moved down to the southern side of the open area. Two brothers were sitting by the termite mound, the third brother on the road. So I'd love to go down and see where the tracks went. It looks like they were heading south again. We didn't hear them calling after that, so I'm not too sure if they're still going to be around, but we're certainly going to have a look. And we're going to have a look around this area as well for Karula. Apparently, they chased her into a tree at that stage. So she was sitting in a tree just outside the house, and unfortunately, she sat there for a little while, but she did manage to make her escape, apparently, unharmed. And don't know where the cubs were, though. No one saw the cubs. I think she must have had them safely stashed away somewhere. Could have even been somewhere around here, because remember yesterday morning we had the tracks coming over here. And if she was hunting somewhere here, then I think she had the cubs stashed away, as I say, quite safely. So I don't think we need to worry too much about that. And as I say, with her being on her own, then there was no sign of the cubs. And with the males focused on getting to that kill, I don't think they would have detected her cubs. So I think all should be fine. How are we doing with the sun? Oh, it's just about to appear now. Na Svenja. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. It's when you have an epic moment like this, it has to happen. I'll be quiet now. Mist is starting to roll up the mountains. And good morning to wherever you are in the world from here in South Africa. And quite a stunning sunrise this morning. If you listen very carefully, you can hear some hornbills in the background, francolins and even guinea fowl calling in the dawn chorus this morning. Even magpie shrikes. Certainly was quite a beautiful one, hey? I hope you're all ready. Let's see what we can go and find this morning. Now, unfortunately, the baboons didn't come back again last night. Instead, there were vervet monkeys sitting in their tree. So I think it must be slightly warmer in there with the heat from the house. They like to sit in the fever tree inside the owner's garden. Oh, I think we've got to get that shot as well. It's quite epic. Look at that. Wow. And the lion ear flowers or flower heads in the foreground. what a wonderful morning to be alive. Wow. So this was where all the drama took place apparently, around here. One of these trees that Kudu was actually chased into, according to the guides. Moved from here. This is where they were last night. Oh, the brother came up to join them just here. So maybe they carried on north. Oh, did you see them walking down here? Okay. Maybe he came up to join them and then they all walked down then. Let's go and see if we can find some tracks. Quite nice. There was one or two in the sunlight there. Quick look. There. Are we close enough? Let's have a look at these ones down here. Yeah, see if we can have a quick jump off, because not everybody's seen a line track before. It'd be quite nice to show you one quickly. Okay, well, hopefully we're going to be able to stretch here. But here is the line track just here. Look at the size of it. That's my hand there. This is a big male. We've got the pad at the back here. And this is the 3 lobes of the true cat. And these are the toes. But look at the spread. The spread is the same size as the width of my fingers there. This one you might be able to see with the sunshine on it now. There's the back pad with the 3 lobes and then the toes. And there's quite a handy tip. Now for some reason I can never do this, but maybe today I can. You're supposed to be able to put your fingers in the toes, and that should give you if it's left or right. And actually my fingers fit perfectly this morning. So this is actually the right paw. And if you have a look at the way the toes are lined, it's just like your 3 fingers. So whichever way they can fit in. See, on the left hand it doesn't really fit. I can't get my fingers in there nicely. It's the first time I've actually been able to do this where it actually works for me. So there you go, that was his right pad. Big male lion. Of course it helps that I knew he was here as well. But he was actually lying down, just down the way there, but I think there may have been a lot of traffic here already, so I'll have a look for his tracks. But he was lying right across the middle of the road. His brothers were just behind us. So let's have a little wander down and see if we can find any more tracks of them. We'll see if we can try and find them, and we'll head back here in a little bit and have a look around. I haven't seen any more of Karula's tracks, so I wonder if she is still around the lodge. But we'll listen out for anything. Cool. Everybody's aboard. No one's left behind. On we go. There are their tracks down this side of the road. Unfortunately, they do live up to their name extremely well, Majingilanes, walking the line. And if anybody wasn't able to join us yesterday, the 3 males came from the south. Oh, there we go, he was sleeping here. Stretching pretty much right across the road. Yeah, just here. I need to pull back a little bit. Oh, no, yep. I need to pull back a bit, hold on. There we go, just here. So unfortunately not too clear, the sun's not really on it, but this is going to be the best vantage point for us. He was just stretched out, rolling around on his back. Morning, any stations out on drive. Any updates this morning?
Yeah, morning, sir. No updates so much because consequently, I went to the south.
Oh, we did go south.
Also, one consequently heading north. I don't
Copy, thank you. Any update from Karula at all?
negative.
Copy that, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, where are you going to check that?
I'm just on Finneman's Dip at the moment. I'll head down towards Chelapan and back on Twin Dams and have a look around there. So, Texan's saying that the tracks head south, they go over Gary, Maine, But there is one set of tracks that heads north. So he's just following up on that. So let's just quickly make our way down towards Chelapan and Twin Dams area. And then we'll come all the way up Twin Dams Road and see if there's anything that side from Karula. But I'm thinking, if I understand Karula well enough, I'm thinking she may have kept those cubs down towards the lodge last night. The monkeys are sitting in the trees, so they might just warn us. We might not even head all the way down towards Twin Downs. Maybe Chelapan's a good place just to have a quick look around. There was one single lion seen towards the gate a couple of days ago, I think. I'm wondering if that's what's drawn one of those lions that side. Might even have a look on the road and come down Galego's shortcut. Might be an idea. Hyena walked along here last night. If anybody's a new viewer of Wild Earth and you would like to ask questions, then please do send them through to questions@wildearthsafari.tv. Oh, hello. What we got there? Oh, it's my young hyena again. It's throwing me. How's the wind chill back there, Herman? Shame. I do feel sorry for the camera people this time of year. They're right up there exposed. Open to the elements. Wow, the water is certainly warmer this morning. Look at the steam rising off chiller pan. I think winter is definitely here. Hippo hot tub this time of year. Let's have a look around, see if there's any sign of movement around here. Now, animals are just like humans in that if it's a cold, chilly day like this, oh, pied kingfisher. Just in the tree there. And I can hear its mate. What have you got in your beak? Here's one for you this morning. Is this a male or female pied kingfisher? You've got a 50-50 chance of being correct. Looks like he has caught a fish. It's broken in half. That's why it looks a little bit meaty. Apparently this is the heaviest bird that can hover without any wind. There's its mate, gonna come join it. Actually, it could even be the chick. I think it is the chick. So if you want to send your answers through, send them through to the same place, questions@wildearthsafari.tv. I wonder what he's doing. I wonder if he's trying to coax the chick to fly. I've seen African fish eagles do this. The parent arrived on the branch with a piece of food and the chick was begging, and then the parent flew off and the chick kind of sat there going, well, what am I supposed to do? And then it decided after a short while, okay, well, I better fly then, and it actually joined the parent over to the other side of the tree where he was sitting, and then the parent fed it. It was quite interesting. I'm just wondering if this chick is going to follow. And this is going to be a resident kingfisher. Ooh, there's another kingfisher. Brown-hooded. Oh, but he's just out of sight now. He flew up just from the front there. No, do you think you can get him? Oh, there's its partner as well. Right up in the tree there. You can just about see the movement. A little bit awkward there. And then there's a hornbill. Sorry, that movement's the hornbill. Kingfisher's gone further into the tree now. So the two of the resident kingfishers are still around here. So the high-pitched whistling was the pied kingfisher, but then the brown-hooded says, "Pity for you, pity for you." Apparently I don't speak brown-hooded. Oh, there we go. It's fishing again. Okay, the chick's joined the adult now. I wonder if it's going to feed it now. No. Oh, caught something himself. back to the other tree. He was so quick. Oh, I wonder if he's going to try again. Goes. He looks like he's trying to join the parent, but I think maybe let's just watch him just for a few more minutes and just see if he is going to come and fish. Now, even though the brown-hooded kingfisher is still around here, they tend to eat lizards and maybe small rodents, but they tend to have a different diet to the pied kingfisher. They don't tend to go fishing. That's how you can have these two species of kingfisher in the same area. And during the summertime we get even more kingfishers species around here. I don't know if anyone's come back with any answers to whether this kingfisher is male or female. The chick was the same sex as well. Oops. Okay, they're flying again. There we go. Got them hovering now. Okay, looks like they might try again. I just wanted to double check the weight for you. They're between 70 and 110 grams. So a very light little bird. As I say, it's supposed to be the heaviest that can hover without any wind. The larger raptors do tend to need to have a bit of wind. So the kestrel and the snake eagles. The snake eagle, I think, is one of the largest that can hover. So just holding their body motionless over one area, while their wings beat frantically. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a picture of a female kingfisher. But just to show you how you tell the difference between the two. This one here. So it was actually a male. And we've got these two bands on the chest. The female only has one. She has the thick band. So that's how you tell the difference between male and female pied kingfisher. So this was the male. I think there may be a little bit of a delay this morning in the emails. Okay. Ah, okay, here we go. Got some answers going through now. Well done, Diane. Good morning to you. And getting it right. And she was just saying also, male has 2 bands, the female only has 1. Okay, where do we want to go? Should we have a quick look down towards Twin Dams? I see the greenbacked heron flying around as well. Just disappeared as well. Ah, mishearing me, but well done. It did sound like it. Rob and Virginia saying I referred to the other one as his mate, so it must be a male. I said it, so it must have sounded like his. But it was right though. Or maybe it was a slip of the tongue. Either way, you are correct. Sometimes I do that. I think I say one thing and my brain says another, and the brain says that I've said another. There's a little bit of breakup there. There's someone else coming through with the right answer. Is it Ray? Did you hear Ray? Ray. Oh, it was Ray. Well done, Ray. Also coming through was male. Good morning to you, Luann. Wiley. See, I got it right this time. Interesting question there. If a male lion picked up the scent of a kill inside the lodge, would they go in or would they stay away? I think a lot of it would depend on how hungry they are. I think it would depend on the lion. If you get a lion that's not really encountered humans before, or they know humans as bad, maybe they've had a bad experience with humans, then it may, if it's not that hungry, then it may decide to leave it, especially with the scent of humans. But lions that are fairly comfortable around humans, and we've seen Kudu go in and out the lodge, there's nothing to say that the lions won't either. To a certain degree, they might not, because the lions tend to roam over a much larger area. But it just depends on the individuals. I mean, you may get the lions that have been here many years, maybe their mother got used to the lodge, and maybe the mother would have taken the cubs through. So if that's a scenario like Karuda's doing with her cubs, you might get those lions coming through. And even though we have said, okay, maybe she's using it for safety, maybe the lions are less likely to go there, there's nothing to stop them going there. But I think from what I've seen of the lions here, they don't seem to get that close to the lodge, so I think they do steer clear from it. But if they were hungry enough and they smelled a carcass, they might just try their luck there. The lions from the old reserve were very comfortable around the lodges, and we did actually have to say to the guests, look, don't walk at night by yourselves, because the lions can and do come in through camp, and you'd find the tracks in the morning in between the rooms. And I remember the Pride actually dropping a wildebeest about 30 meters from one of the rooms. The cheetah also got very, very comfortable getting close to camp, and she would often walk, she wouldn't come right through camp, but she would often walk in front of the house, in front of the rooms on the far side. Doesn't look like there's too much movement down here at Twin Downs this morning. Hoping maybe you would find a rhino or something. Maybe sunning itself. They're probably still in bed somewhere in the thick part of the bush. So let's take Twin Downs, trundle up onto Vulture's nest. I feel like pulling a lemur moment. Here, son. Have you ever seen ringtail lemurs? They sit with their body exposed, the belly exposed, and their arms out like this, almost like they're meditating. Exposing that thin belly skin, so it acts like a radiator to warm themselves up, or a hot water bottle to warm themselves up first thing in the morning. And you may even find our monkeys doing it to a certain degree. They don't tend to hold their arms up or arms out, but you will often find them sitting towards the sun. Have a quick look at the rhino midden. There's only one piece of fresh down there. But most of it's pretty old, you can see on the road there. And then there's one fairly fresh part in the middle of the road. You can see it's quite a lot darker. And the bits that spread out on the road, fairly light in colour, but no fresh stuff. Nothing with steam coming off or flies around or anything like that, unfortunately. But always worth checking, because then it does tell you if there's been recent movement. Here, little blue waxbills. Deet, 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 deet. Deet, 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 deet. little bit hippier down here. I'm just thinking, Luan, just with the Majingilanes in particular, they still seem to be quite wary of the lodges. You don't seem to get them going into the lodges. But I think they were hungry enough last night for their curiosity. If they'd have caught the scent of a kill in the lodge, if they did get that smell, then their curiosity may have got the better of them. They may have gone in there. But otherwise they do seem to keep their distance from the lodge. But again, every circumstance is different. Every animal is different, so we can't say sure yes or no. But there are certainly some animals that are more comfortable around the people in the lodges, and they do tend to be more resident animals, although you do get some of the elephants. Oh, good morning. 2 Nyala bulls are socialising with Kudu cows. You got a mistaken identity, boys. Female kudu with a calf there. Now kudu males are probably just a little bit larger than the kudu cows. It's actually quite nice to see the size comparison. The Nyala bulls are just a little bit larger than the kudu calf. You can see they're quite dark in colour, that silver mane down the back, and they carry horns. So it's quite nice to see that size comparison there. So it's a little bit smaller than the females. I think, if we're lucky, the kudu cow with her calf, another kudu cow, is going to be in front of us, and the Nyala bulls might just follow them. I was hoping they're going to stand next to her. Come on, boys, there we go, there's one coming. So the kudu bulls as well, if you look at the horns on the Nyala bull, they're spiraled, but they're not like corkscrew, whereas the kudu bulls themselves will carry these beautiful corkscrew horns. No, I'm sure they do know that they are Nyalas, and they won't really be trying to mate with the female cows. But what it does mean is, with thanks to that torchwood, nearly hit me on the head with a fruit. I think it's a bit dangerous sitting here. But what they are most likely doing is utilising this small herd of kudu. Because at the end of the day, 4 pairs of eyes are better than 2 pairs of eyes. And 6 pairs of eyes are better than 4. So each utilising the other. I'm just going to move forward a little bit. I don't know where the fruit dropped to. Oh, there it is. Let's move forward just a little bit more so we might be able to see the Nyala balls if they are back out. Sure, this is right. Here. No balls. Oh, there they are. Just run back to turn that round. So, turn the car so we can actually see the tree that was trying to throw fruit at me. It's a dangerous place, the bush. That's the tree, and this is the fruit. So, quite oblong-shaped fruit, and it smells like. Have you ever heard my description of the silver cluster leaf? It smells like sweaty feet. Well, this is like 10 times worse. It's like sweet, sweaty feet. What do you reckon?
That's right.
Doesn't want to smell it. Yeah, but you might have a different nose to
right.
me. Yeah, it's not a nice smell. Apparently you can eat them though. I'm not so sure if I want to eat this. The smell really isn't appealing. Yeah, I think I might leave that one. Right, that's the tree anyway. Just to the right. You've got that beautiful deep grooved bark. You can see it's almost like separate trunks intertwined. Very characteristic of the torchwood. And funnily enough, I never noticed this until fairly recently when an elephant was busy eating from it and someone asked me what tree it was. And I looked at the crown and I couldn't see any thorns on it. I thought, but it looks a bit like a jackalberry. Even though now that I've looked at them closely, it actually doesn't. But to me, on that day, it looked a bit like a jackalberry. But when I went back and checked, so the bark was very distinctive, and I thought, how on earth did I miss that? And it does have quite large thorns, otherwise known as a green thorn. Torchwood, because the seed oil can be used in torches. And I'm sure the wood would have been used as well. But apparently this fruit is very good at, well, killing. For some reason it kills aquatic species like a snail, which is a host to bilharzia. It's a type of parasite. And apparently it has been used to cure bilharzia in people as well. So quite an unusual fruit. And maybe the smell has something to do with the chemicals that are inside it. Yeah, as I say, I think I really will leave that one. I'm sure the Nyala are going to enjoy eating them though. Text him to me. Text him to me. Is anyone trying to get hold of me? Sorry, I'm getting a lot of interference. I don't know if you're trying to get hold of me, but I can try and come to you now. Okay, copy. Thanks, Sable. The Humours up in the north by Kayamanzi and Buffelshoek. Unfortunately, we're not able to go that side, but just to give you an update. Another rhino made him just here. What's up, Franklin? What's up? See the Franklin in the tree there. Just a stick. Complaining quite bitterly. Crested Franklin. Now when a Franklin gives a warning call, that's what we listen out for. That continual complaining, and obviously finding a Franklin quite high in a bush also suggests something's come by, but that was actually us. I didn't see them until I drove past the dung midden. And you can see they've calmed down now as well. Sorry, Franklin. You can come out your tree now. So I'm not so sure I will, thank you. Shame, little one. I do apologise. Sounds like it was one Unkahuma female with the large cub, the older cub. And a female with 4 cubs, possibly the sticks. Down by Cheetah Plains, double M boundary, which is down towards Mile away. And that's where the sticks female, I think, has been hanging out recently. Just a couple of updates for you. And if we do have any new viewers, we do traverse about 800 to 1,000 hectares, depending on the weather, the signal. And we are part of the Sabi Sands. The Sabi Sands is made up of little areas held by individual people, privately owned. And around the 1950s, late 1950s, it was decided to join together to make this quite a large reserve. And individually there's a few thousand hectares here and there, but combined it's around 65,000 hectares. So all the fences around these little small holdings were dropped to allow animals free movement across the board, so that they could actually organise themselves in a much more balanced way, so they could actually hold territories the size that they wanted to hold the territories at, or have home ranges the size of home ranges. Home ranges are much larger than territories. Territories tend to be fairly small and they tend to be defended, whereas home ranges tend to be quite large. So these home ranges, and they don't get defended, so they just move. So an elephant would have a home range, whereas a leopard holds the territory. It's quite a small area. And they stick to that area. They don't tend to go beyond, although they might go beyond a little bit, but it won't be part of the territory, depending on food sources and everything. But it gets quite complicated. But for ease, the elephant has the home range, the leopard has the territory. Excuse me. And then it was also decided to drop the fences between the Sabi Sands and the world famous Kruger National Park. Should we have a quick look at the hippo, see if baby's around. We also have a look on their wall, see if there's any sign of Karula. Otherwise we're going to carry on down Vubu Road. So between the Sabi Sands and the Kruger National Park, there's something like 2.7 billion hectares between them. And because of that, the animals can organise themselves as they want to. So animals that we see here will wander onto other areas, and even though they can go, we can't. Ooh, hippo. Just out of the water there. I think that's mama hippo too. It is. Baby's following behind. We still have a couple of our families still present. I think little Bob's family is there to the right. See of them facing towards the sun, trying to warm up a little bit. Black black-smith lapwing just creeping into shot there. Here it comes. Just to the right of your screen. And the mate's just going to fly in now. The female hippo is coming out again. She's heading towards the rest of the hippos. But I just saw baby. There's baby. You're looking at about a 2-week-old baby hippo now. And it's probably the full length of Mum's nose. That's how big it is. I she'll be walking along the bottom of the dam there. And baby's trying to keep up with her. And they're a little bit more buoyant than the adults. Although there's a bit of controversy as to whether they are buoyant or not. I don't think they're as buoyant as what maybe they should be. They tend to push off from the ground and then kind of tread water. The babies do seem to have a little bit of buoyancy to aid them, but still you can see they kind of struggle a little bit, so you just see the head and then they bob back down again. So they will try and climb on the back of the mother, and this one seems to be doing it a lot earlier than little Bob. Bob didn't really grasp that concept too early on. But this little baby seems to try and climb on the back of Mum as soon as possible. Okay, well let's see what is around the lodge. Although maybe we should check out Vulture access. Okay, as soon as we're pointing this way, let's go Vulture access, up Gallego shortcut and down Azubu Road. So it being just a little bit warmer now, I'm hoping that if Karula's still around, she might just decide to move. You go from one extreme to the other. You often find leopards sleeping when it's quite hot during the day, same as lions. Although sometimes we have seen them out and about. Oh, there's an African Jacana just here as well. Is that going to be a bit awkward there? It's okay. A little bit awkward. And then when you go to the other extreme in the winter, they're just like a normal house cat to the degree they like to stay warm. So you might find them not moving around too much when it's cold in the morning. Or maybe finding a nice sunny spot to sun themselves before moving around. Anything goes. Do we get it? Oh, the African Jacana just here. The African Jacana just on the vegetation there. Because I was too busy looking around seeing if there's any sign of Karula having a look. There we go, just in the centre of the screen now. African Jacana. See those beautiful long toes to help walk on lily pads or water vegetation. Spreading the weight. parrots again. Round-headed parrots. Tell you what we haven't seen today, we haven't seen the Impala. I wonder where they are. Let's maybe check on the western side of the open area. See. Hyena came down here. Got the lion tracks walking up here again. I see the Impala up ahead. No sign of Karula's tracks anywhere. Looking amongst all the trees while we can. It can give you quite a nice viewpoint. Any sign of rhinos or elephants, buffalo. These. Okay, the herd has been split up though. There's the rest of the herd. Wonder if this is the same three boys we saw fighting the other day. I'm just trying to watch for their movements. I'm just trying to see if they can give me any clues as to whether there's a predator still possibly in the area or not. It's always worth just checking. They are more alert than normal, but I think they did know about the lions here last night. They must have done, especially with one of their own being killed. It wouldn't be just the fact that one of their own was killed by a feline last night. Still odd. I want to see where the rest of the herd are. Hi Jody. Good afternoon. Oh, good afternoon. Good morning to you. Got brain freeze this morning. I hope you're well over there in New Mexico. Wanting to know, can and do antelope species interbreed? And I've not heard of a successful mating. I actually haven't heard of mating between different antelope species. The only real interaction that I've heard of, I've got a hyena crossing over again, looked a bit odd, is with Blesbok and Impala. I've heard Blesbok rams, for some reason, if they're not successful with the mating. Good morning! Or with holding onto a territory, they may kick out an Impala ram from his territory. Now, Blesbok are a species of antelope we don't get here. They tend to be more on the open grasslands, the open plains. True plains antelope. That's the only interaction that I've heard of where a male may try and take over, but even so, I've not really heard of him trying to mate with the females. Ah. We have cub tracks here. Let's try on the other side. They don't look fresh, but they look like they could have been from last night. Cub tracks here too, but I think that was from the other day. Okay, well, let's try Galego shortcut. So it could have been from the other day when they did come down here. Crossing back over there as well. Lots of hyena activity here. The only other antelope that I can think of, Jodie, is the Blesbok and the Bontebok. They're very, very similar species of antelope. They look fairly similar. It's the only one that I can think of that hybridizes, but even then, as I say, there's such a close overlap. But a Kudu and a Nyala I've not really heard of. Impala and Nyala, again, I've not really heard of. Maybe someone might have heard of it who's watching. If you have, please send it through. I'll just quickly show you a picture of a Blesbok and a Bontebok. Unless we have some sent in, I don't think we'll ever really see Blesbok. Okay, where's all my antelope? Carnivores? No. Even toad ungulates? Yes. Okay, Blesbok and Bontebok. Which is which? Both of them are on this page. So the Bontebok is here, and this is the Blesbok down here. So the Bontebok tend to be more mottled, different colours all over. So they have these black and the browns, the white rump, the white legs, the white stomach, and on the face, the Bontebok, which is also here, has this white stripe down the face. Now with the Blesbok, they tend to be much browner in colour all over. They don't have as much of a white rump or a white stomach, and the legs are not as white. And another distinguishing feature you might just be able to see here is that white stripe is intersected by brown just above the eye there. So the Bontebok is down towards the Cape. That's where it's found, in the Blesbok towards the centre part of South Africa on the open grasslands. Although it has been thought that there's many hybrids now around, and you do get some Blesbok looking a bit like the Bontebok. And it's thought somewhere along the line there was an overlap, and that's where the hybridization came from. And unfortunately, they're not the brightest of antelope, although you can kind of understand why they do what they do, but for some reason they didn't really understand the hunter's gun, and they would run away and then they'd stand and turn and look, whereas most of the other antelope kind of got to know the gun pretty quickly and they would carry on running. So unfortunately their numbers dropped quite dramatically because of overhunting in the past, and that's possibly where the hybridization time came in as well. But it's a little bit vague from what I've found. That's the only one that I can think of, Jodie. There's another one that's ringing a bell actually. I think there may actually be a hybridization between Roane and something. Could be Roane and Sable. Roane with the horns sweep back, and the Sable also. Sable's slightly bigger. Females are brown, males are black. But I'll have to check on that one to confirm it. But I think there is. I think I do remember a bell ringing about that one. Hi Joe, good morning to you. Wanting to know, is the crocodile still around? We don't know, we haven't seen it for a few days, but then we haven't been out too often lately. So it's very difficult to say. That female's been very protective over the baby, as they always are. So we'll just have to keep a lookout for it. But it may have moved on. It may just be biding its time. They don't need to eat every day, especially if you had a big meal. Might suffice it for now. I have heard crocodiles can survive on maybe a few meals over the whole year. Depends on how much they move around and how big that meal was, but with it being a reptile, very efficient at saving energy and using the sun and ground to warm up. It doesn't need to keep that temperature at the same level as what a mammal would have to do. The mammal can't really increase or decrease its temperature too much. The reptiles are able to do that. Obviously they need to increase their body temperature for getting the digestive system working, and that's why you'll see crocodiles out in the sun basking, especially if they have caught a meal. They need to warm up, otherwise that meal will sit in their stomach and rot. rather than be digested. So it's very important for crocodiles to warm up, especially after a meal. So maybe that's why we've not been seeing it. Maybe he hasn't caught a meal yet. Hello. Did you see that one? He's still there. The rains and the elephants keep changing the lay of the land. I should have remembered that one. It's been so long since I've driven down here, and especially this way, because the elephants took a mud bath back there. There was a nice big puddle on the road. One of the baby elephants decided to play in that one and make it deeper. Kudu up ahead. Who, me? Yes, you. She probably isn't on her own. The rest of your herd, lady? Buffalo. Oh, thanks, Penny. Aha. How'd you hide a buffalo? Just behind a weeping wattle. That's gonna be a little bit difficult with the light. Okay, if I drive this side, he's probably gonna walk that side, but let's give it a go. Good morning, mister. But thanks, Penny. I think it was you that told me a little while ago. That was what the bell was ringing. Penny confirming that it is the roan and sable antelope that can interbreed. And is it? I missed what it was called. Roamable. Roamable? I think they're called roamable. Penny's saying that they had people to go in to eradicate the hybrid. Apparently that was becoming a bit of a problem. Now with some hybrids you don't get what we call viable offspring. They're not fertile, so even if animals, some species hybridize, their offspring is not able to go on a mate. But maybe the mating between the roan and the sable, maybe the roamable, I think was what they were called, roanable, may have been able to go on and reproduce. Maybe that's why it was becoming a bit of a problem. But I'll certainly have to read a little bit more information about that, because if it happened naturally, then maybe it's just one of those things, because that's how some species can be formed. But thanks for sending that through again, Penny. My memory's like a sieve at the moment. And this buffalo bull couldn't care less. Would you be so kind as to grace us with a look at least? Sorry, it's them talking on the radio. Don't mean to disturb you. Now it is normal to find a bull on his own. This is probably an old bull. The prime bulls, the bulls that are able to keep up with the herd and mate, will generally stay with the females, especially in this area, although in some areas they may just break away this time of year. But you can see he's quite an old bull. A lot of his hair's worn off his body. He's been sitting in mud by the looks of it. You can see on the back end some of the mud is still caped on his body, and his skin is a little bit cracked there too. That's one of the reasons why they do need to coat their body in mud, to protect their skin. Try and keep it moisturised to some extent. But there may be more buffalo in there, maybe more dugger boys, old bulls. And dugger is mud in Zulu. And it's because of them putting all the mud pack on their bodies. That's where they get the nickname from. And he may be making his way down towards Gary Dam at some stage. You never know. But maybe just enjoying the warmth of the sun for the time being. Oh well. Yeah, now you look at us. It's like, do you mind? I'm enjoying my piece here. I'm just busy chewing. Just want to quickly show anybody who doesn't know what a sable looks like. This is a sable antelope. quite a beautiful antelope, and there may be on occasion a sable passing through here. But this is the male here, and very, very different to the female who's brown, but these striking horns that sweep back, and this black and white face, and on the female brown and white. They're quite picky about what they eat. So that's the sable antelope, and this is the roan antelope. Slightly smaller horns, although they still sweep back. But you can see similar face markings. So still a fairly similar antelope. They're both the same genus, just like the Bontebok and the Blesbok. So I can see why that hybridization might actually happen. As I say, it'd be quite nice to see why, and if it was a natural occurrence, because if it's a natural occurrence, it could be that a few more years, and we're talking decades or even hundreds of years down the line, a new species may be formed from that pairing. Though unfortunately nowadays a lot of hybridizations happen because of human intervention. One of those hybridizations, which really irks me unfortunately, is between a lion and a tiger. It doesn't happen out in the wild. So if you hear of a Teon or a liger, it's because of human intervention putting a lion and a tiger together. Hi Dot. Good morning to you. Wanting to know about the dents on the side of the head of the elephant, and obviously you know it's an age thing, but what causes it? And you never know. I've never actually thought to check out why. So I'll have to do a bit of research, but I would say it's probably because of the way the skull grows. I mean, the skull, if you look at a baby elephant, it's quite small. As the elephant develops, it gets quite large, and it probably has just a lot to do with the skull formation. Quite an interesting question there, Dot. It's funny what when people do ask questions like this, it's one of those questions that may be at the back of your mind, but you never think to check up on it, or you may never even think of the question. So thanks for that one, Dot. But I'll see if I can try and get some pictures of the elephant skulls at different stages. I'm pretty sure that is the reason why. Just be the different grooves just getting larger with age. I suppose it's just the same as on a human. Think about a human child, and as the face grows, the features elongate or they become more pronounced. And also losing a lot of the baby fat around the face. You do have a lot of tissue, especially when you're a child. Chubby cheeks, and as your face grows, kind of all gets into the right proportions of a human. I shall ponder. Okay, so we're gonna head down Bambubu Road. Tamboti Dam is just here, and this does get a lot of action. A lot of animals, including the boys, like this area. Nishu and Induna, all the boys. Male leopards, the offspring of Karula, who we're actually on the search for this morning. Just seeing if there's any tracks around here. The only tracks that I've found are of the cubs, but they do look fairly old. There's no fresh tracks from her running with the Majingilanes last night. She was up a tree. No sign of the cubs. I think she would have kept them safely hidden. I do wonder if she is still around the lodge. Or whether she may have just moved the cubs, but I think she may have just stayed put. It may have just been a little bit too dangerous for her to move them last night with the lions around. Who knows? I can only guess at what Karula would do. She may be aware of the fact that the male lions keep moving, and they were moving in a different direction from the lodge. They got to Gary Dam, they went up between the two houses and then walked back towards Inga's house where we stay. She may have gone in completely the opposite direction. Maybe it's worth us checking out Impala Plains, Surrey's Road, that area. Ooh! Rhino! Just moving through the bush now. There's two of them by the looks of it. Let's see who it is. It's been so long since I've seen a rhino. Ooh. Somebody I don't recognise, and she doesn't recognise us. Ooh. And there's a bark as well. It's alright, guys, girls, lady. It is a female. Female with a long horn, and a calf with a fairly blunt horn. I see very different temperament to the rhinos that we normally see. Pull forward a little bit. See, constantly moving. It's funny, I was talking about residents, and even rhino, you can see a difference in the horns, maybe in the ears too. Okay, well, I'm going to try and see if we can get another look at them, but we'll see how it goes, because she seemed a little bit wary. If she's not happy, then we'll leave her. If we're not able to get through the trees, we might have to leave her. Fit underneath this one. No, I don't think so. Is there another pathway around there? Might have to make quite a wide circle. I thought we might be able to get through those two trees, but unfortunately not. Hi John, welcome to you this morning. Not too sure which John it is. I think we're not going to see another sign of this lady. Let's go through here. But a few people wondering how our rhinos are doing. Have we had any rhinos poached so far? And as far as we know, all seem to be fine, and we do have an anti-poaching patrol out and about every day, and if we see any suspect tracks, then we report them. If we see any suspect movement around, we report it. The sad thing is, poaching is on the increase of rhino, and that what's even more upsetting is the fact that rhino horn, for some reason, just seems more popular than it used to be, even more so. So, with the demand going up, the price of rhino horn has also gone up, and we're talking about maybe £10,000–20,000 per ounce of rhino horn. Oh, that's not a good one to get caught up in. I think unfortunately it's just got too thick. I think they did go down there, and I think I can just about see them. It's just getting a little bit too thick in there. Unless I can go a little bit further around and drop down, she might carry on walking there. Let's just let her go. So I'm not going to push it. She's not wanting to say hello to us. But we'll just give it one last shot. We can get ahead of her and she's settled down, and she may just be okay. I think I actually heard the other day that the military have gone into Kruger. Hopefully that might actually deter any would-be killers. think there's been areas where they've dehorned the rhino, where there's small populations of them. And I think some areas have even put poison on the horns. I'm sure I saw her, unless it was a figment of my imagination, which it could well have been. Nope. Looks like she doesn't want to play. I'm purposely just driving directly over these small saplings. You can see right in the middle of the bumper there, and the reason for that is because they're saplings, they're going to spring back up again. So we're actually reducing the amount of damage we do. See a little stump somewhere. Hoping I've missed it. Oh well, it was worth a try. May have been lucky. Oh, that's why. Got a big log attached to us. Think small. Squeeze in. back of our trees over there. It's kind of a square peg round hole. I can see the road. Oh well, worth a try. Always worth a try. Something want to play. She wasn't running away from us. She was moving. So just by that action there, very different to the rhinos that we get to see here. Oh, we have some more buffalo up ahead. Lots more buffalo up ahead. Lots and lots of buffalo. Hello, ladies. Ah, that's quite interesting. I wonder how long they were here yesterday. Because I was convinced the lions were following them. With the lions maybe getting distracted by that carcass yesterday. Oh, there's a baby right in front. Stations, Lambia Vignari on Mvubu Road. You see the horns are just about growing. It's probably about a month old. Maybe it'll turn and try and be closer to mum. There we go. Especially at that age, they are going to be sticking very closely to mum. So we have the breeding herd on this side. Maybe we saw the buffalo bull on the other side, the old bull. So this is the breeding herds I was talking about just a little bit earlier, where prime bulls will often stay with the females, and this herd would be made up of female groups, just like an elephant. Females all related. So they have their units, and then the big herds are made up of all these individual units. Oh, and there's a couple more calves just hidden. I'm going to just try and see if we can just creep forward just a little bit. We'll see how they react. I might just be able to fucking manoeuvre the vehicle a little bit better. I can pull off here. Hopefully have a little bit of a wider view. We can look down the road, but there's a baby sitting in the shade at the moment. You see, most of the herd are not really too phased about us. And it's funny, once you start looking at the buffalo, you can see differences between each and every one of them. I'm seeing a cow that just walked in front now. There's her calf. It's probably just a little bit younger than a month old. There's a cow with very widespread horns. She's turned away now. I don't know if you copied earlier, there's a Schlambi of Nyari on a Vubu Road. Sorry, whereabouts is the Kudu and Nyala? Just out of range, I think. Thought I heard someone say there was a male lion somewhere just over in Buffelshoek. I just wanted to confirm where it was. You tend to see a lot more activity from the buffalo this time of year, this time of day. In the summer they tend to start to lie down and rest during the heat of the day. Oh, there goes baby. I think they are getting the last few mouthfuls of grass before they do settle down for the day. There's one scratching just up ahead.
Sorry?
There's one scratching just up ahead of us. There he is. It's always funny to see these huge animals like rhino and elephant and giraffe using the smallest of saplings to try and scratch themselves. Okay, we're going to move up again. sorry guys. Just a little bit close. Hi Joe. Good morning to you. Good to hear from you. Wanting to know, will they start to eat grass at that age, about a month old? And they will start to have a few mouthfuls of grass, although they will carry on suckling. It'll probably be around 8 months, 6 to 8 months. They'll probably be fully weaned. They may even carry on drinking right up until the next calf is born. You can see putting its head down, and this little calf in the road is already starting to nibble on bits of grass there. Oh. Yeah, that little one. You're inquisitive, eh? Nice wet nose. You can see those oxpeckers on the backs there. Red-billed oxpeckers. Now there are yellow-billed oxpeckers, although we don't really see them here. I think they've really found further into Kruger. It's always worth just keeping a lookout for one. And they tend to be slightly bigger in the bill, yellow and red on the bill. And it's thought where they occur together that each one goes for a slightly different size tick on the animal. The larger or the heavier billed, yellow-billed hornbills go for the larger ticks, and the red-billed for the smaller ticks. But it's also been found that the red-billed oxpeckers tend to go for more bodily fluids as well. And it could be that they go more for that than anything else. So where they do occur in the same area, there could be even more of a differentiation between what they eat. And there has to be, because for an animal to survive, it has to have a slightly different role in life to anything else, and that includes similar species. So where you do get an overlap, you will find almost a separation between what they eat or where they live. So it does depend a lot on that, whereas areas where they don't overlap, then they may fill a much larger role. So they might have a wider variety of food. But quite often you will find the oxpeckers in animal ears, eating the wax, on the noses, around the anus. And they're eating the mucus from the nose as well. And even on cuts, they quite often will keep cuts open on the animal, so they can eat the blood directly, because that's the reason why they eat the ticks in the first place, is to get the blood. Is it Hal? Good morning to you, Hal, over there in Texas. Howdy, y'all. Hope Rossie's watching as well. See, I've been practicing. Maybe it's still not as good. Still need to have a bit more practice. But welcome on board, Hal. Wanting to know how you tell the difference between male and female buffalo. And female buffalo tend to have thinner horns compared to the males. Unfortunately, we don't have a great example in front of us. This is actually a young bull, and you can see the penis sheath right in the middle of his belly there. So that's one thing to look for. If you can see the stomach, look for that. Otherwise, the horns is quite a good indication a lot of the time. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes, if it is a young bull, it doesn't help too much. But if you can see to the cow to the right, yeah, just there, you can see she's a lot older than he is. She's a little bit darker in colour as well. But if she can put her head up again, you can see her horns have already turned in quite nicely. There's quite a deep turn on them. The horns won't drop as far below the ears as on a male buffalo as well. The males, the boss is very heavy in the middle, that middle part of the horns. Please turn around again, lady. That middle part of the horns tends to be very, very wide. There we go. And that's because they will use the heads for fighting. So it needs to be very large to protect their skull when they do fight. Let's drive a little bit further on. Maybe there's a bull with them. Oh, sorry. Thought you were already out. Still a lot of cows here. Maybe one or two buffalo bulls at the back. I'll see if we can find a bull for you, Hal. Let's see if we can see the differences. Let's see, there's another cow. Oh, she might actually be out of your view. Yeah, she's just out of view there. If I squeeze up any more, I think these two boys looking at us are going to be a bit upset with us. But if you look at the horn growth as well, for the first few years of their life, the horns grow straight up, and only later on do they start to grow out like that. Would you mind if we squeeze up a bit, mister? Master Buffalo. I'd love to know what goes through their minds when they look at us. Never seen a buffalo like that before, have you, George? Yeah, I saw one the other day. But they smell funny. If you listen very carefully, you might be able to hear the Oxpeckers calling. Okay, let's see if we can squeeze up again. But if you were watching a little bit earlier, Hal, you may have noticed the horns when the big single male was looking at us. You can see one. Oops. No, I said it. Oh, there he is. There's the bull. Steady on, guys, looking at us now. There you go, you can see that big heavy boss. There was a youngster that just startled them. Sorry guys, didn't mean to startle you. And girls. You may have just caught that quick glimpse with that big heavy boss. You guys mind if we move on a little bit? A couple of you looking at us. But it's funny, that herd instinct, one goes and they all decide, oh, don't like that, and they go as well. Unfortunately, the one was just a little bit concerned. The rest were looking at us and they were alright, but it was just that one decided to run, and then that set everybody else off, and that's one of the reasons why they're quite a stable animal when they're in a herd. So when you approach the buffalo herd on foot, it tends to be a bit safer than just a single male, because they tend to give you a bit of warning as well. Obviously there's a few more of them, so you may actually see them a lot earlier on. But if one runs, they all run away, and they may stop and then stand and look at you. But then you do have the added problem that if they decide that you're a threat, then you have the whole herd running towards you. But especially when they don't have very young calves. If they've got young calves, then it's obviously going to be a lot more dangerous than if they have maybe just a few old females. As I say, a lot more stable in their actions. Okay, most of them are looking away from us now, so let's see if we can squeeze forward again. Is there a bull around here? Anyone seen a bull? See, most of them are actually just looking now and they're like, oh, okay, we're alright now. That's gotta have hurt. There was a female that just rammed into another one at the back there. And there goes the bull actually. And quite broad as well, broad-shouldered. They do look quite a lot heavier. Let's say the problem comes in with those young bulls. But he was just stood at the back there. There's a big cow coming to look at us. I think that bull, he's just behind the bush here. If we go a bit further on, we might see him. There he is. Can we see him through that gap there? Still going to be a bit forward. Okay. There you go. So you can see that boss quite heavy, and look at the thickness of the horns, just as they come from the centre part, the boss, down into the curve. Very, very wide compared to those of the females. And even drooping quite low, but this one's not drooping as much as I've seen other bulls. Some of the really old bulls, those horns droop really low below the ears. Unfortunately, he's not really willing to show how chunky he is. Herd's still going on. There's a nice cow with a spread there, look. It's quite flat, just opposite us again. Looking towards us now. And those horns coming off the boss are quite rounded. It's not wide and flat. And that tends to be the same for whatever species. If you've got a species of antelope that has horns in both male and females, the males tend to be larger and maybe shorter because they are fighting with them. They may wear down as they're fighting, but they do need to be robust for fighting. Whereas female horns tend to be thinner, slender, maybe even longer. And even on rhinos, the rhino horns, you could see a difference. The female that we saw just before, she had this beautiful long horn, whereas our territorial bull has quite a short horn, but it's quite thick at the base. And we still haven't been able to find out what those white patches are. If you look at some individuals, they have some white patches below the eyes, and some individuals don't. I've seen many that don't. We don't know if it's a sign of TB. I haven't found anything to suggest it is. I haven't found that it's a sign of another disease. Could be that some are just scratched there a lot. It's very odd, but I asked this a little while ago and still haven't been able to find out exactly what it is. I don't think anyone really knows. But there's very few individuals in this herd that have them. That's the first one I've seen with them on the face. And yet some herds, there's a lot of them that have those white marks below the eyes. Just want to check my wheels after a little bit of off-roading that we did. Still the herd goes on. I think we are getting to the back of the herd now. I do want to have a look down towards the lodge, just in case Karula is around. So I've not found any other tracks of her. I did hear that kudu barking. And I thought I heard one or two monkeys down here calling, just as we were listening or watching the buffalo. Finches. Let's see if I can come back. There's a little bird just sitting on the bough. There it goes. Can you see him in the tree there, in the buffalo thorn? So the monkeys aren't calling anymore. No, he's gone. Hmm? Have you got him?
Okay, it's gone now.
Oh. Couldn't quite see. It looked like it could possibly have been a sister cola, but I didn't see it too clearly. It'd be nice to see the little 5 inches. That little bird could have been a netiki actually. Oh, there we go. There's a lot of them around here. There's actually a chegra right at the back. Can you see him?
I don't know, can you check which one?
Yeah, that's him there. See him just behind the thorns, but there is a chegra there. There's another one that just flew into the side. Would you be so kind as to just jump out in the open a little bit? Looks like a brown crown chegra. He's moved away without coming out into the open. But you may have just been able to see it. You don't often see those birds, they do tend to stay quite well hidden. We're still a little bit of a distance. I thought there may have been 1 or 2 monkeys just calling, but couldn't say for sure. We're just having a quick check. Texan, come in. Might be back at the lodge already. Did you hear him?
What?
I'm thinking I'm hearing faint chattering on the other side now. It's very, very faint. Okay, well, I think we need to go over the dam wall. Last time I saw the monkeys, they were up by Yuri's house. They probably have moved on from there. But it is very faint. case anybody's just joining us, I did have a look for the baboons this morning. The monkeys were sitting in the fever trees, so unfortunately looks like they stayed overnight again down in the south, so we're gonna have to wait until they're back, try and catch up with them. Check for the crocodile, but no sign. Not on the basking spot that it likes, anyway. Waterbuck. What are you looking at, Waterbuck? I'm just going to park here because we might be able to see the male, but it gets a little bit skittish sometimes. Now, they do seem to be a little bit wary this morning. There's a few females with their heads up. They're all looking in different directions. I'm not hearing what I heard before. So it was very, very faint. It might not have been a monkey. There are a couple of females looking over there. The one's behind the tree. Maybe let's just have, because we actually missed that corner out. Maybe it's worth us trying that corner. She's looking very intently over there. And the same one we were just looking at also. What are you seeing, lady? I doubt a leopard would try anything with these females. maybe a calf on its own. Okay, I'm hearing the francolin calling right over the way. Is that your form of snorting, lady? No one else seems to be taking any notice of it. That's the third time I've heard her do that. It's funny, I've never heard a waterbuck snort before. Okay. I wouldn't normally, but she does seem to be quite intent on it. Maybe we should just have a quick look. Maybe she is right. See, it's that. Which is definitely a first for me. I've not heard that before. Looking as well. We have seen Mishu here before. This is an area they like. Yeah, so she's still looking up here. Tell me where, lady. Here? Or here? She's looking in here. Looking in the trees. Not seeing anything in the trees. She's looking right over here. Did you hear them then?
What?
I think I'm going insane. I'm sure I keep hearing monkeys. But see now the other female's looking here. What am I missing? What am I missing? Yeah, 3 females are looking there. She is very... She's very adamant there is something here. Still snorting. Still looking in this direction. Anyone underneath that tree over there? Now looking further up there. Yeah, we've got another one calling. There's got to be something here. Yeah, they're both checking up here. There has got to be something here now. Two females have given the alarm call now. She's walking. Yeah, they're still looking there. They're still looking there. And the rest of them are looking up there. What are we missing, Herman? I'm sure these Waterbuck are going, can't you see it? It's obvious. Definitely looking this way. There's another female looking up here. Do you know where the kill was, Herman? I don't think there's anything left there now. Texan, come in.
Vulture.
Texan, Waterbuck were barking at something just out here on the open area. I'm trying to have a look around. At the moment I've not been able to locate it.
Okay, Kudu and Nyala, just slow it down.
Okay, copy. Yeah, let's give it one more shot. We're looking here. Let's just cut straight through here. Maybe whatever it is might just show itself. Oh, because she seemed to be very adamant there was something here, but can't see what she was looking at. Well, let's... It looks like we've run out of time, folks. Well, we gave it our best shot. I'm still having a look around here. But, oh, as I say, unfortunately I couldn't see what it was that she was looking at. I don't know if there was something hiding, but we're definitely checking underneath all the trees and all the bushes. But it could be that she was mistaken, but there was another female that did take up the call, but they were looking at her a lot, so it may be one of those mysteries. But we'll carry on going through here. If we do see anything, we'll cut back to you guys, but otherwise, unfortunately, we're going to have to say goodbye, and I hope you can join us for our next live safari. My name's Tara, Herman's been on camera, and back in front of control is Craig and Siabonga. But take care, everyone, and stay around for another 5 minutes or so. If we do see something, then we'll cut back to you. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.